Okay, so here we are, and we just placed the chain. I haven't even glued it yet, but I placed the chain on this side, and I'm just going to add like a small lock here, but I want part of it to kind of drape over. And remember, if you have lines in some parts of your trinket box, this would be a great way to hide the lines. Like we have a line here, and I'm going to just let the other charm drop here, so we're hiding the line as we do that. And I'm just going to try to position where I want to put the charms in. So we have a crown, a heart, a small heart, a mirror. Alright, so we're going to just try and position them and glue them later. Alright, so I'm going to have a couple of them hang out over here. And then we're going to paint on them. So I'm going to have 3 of them hang out over there. And I plan to have this trinket just hanging over here at the edge of the or it could be too big. Let me think about it. But I'm going to get the other chain mold, and I'm going to use it for the necklace. I'll be back in a bit. Here we have the painting of the bracelet, and what I'm using here is Americolor Gold Sheen Airbrush color. I also mixed it with some edible dusts. So I have gold, I have Aztec gold and super gold. I don't have a lot, so I'm just using whatever it is that I have. And I mix it with some drops of vodka just to hasten the evaporation. Now, we can zoom in here. So coming from the mold that we had earlier, if you can remember, when we took it out, it looked like this, and it still had the white in the middle, and we want it to look like it has holes in there. So just like in my previous tutorial on how to use intricate molds and just make the illusion that there's a hole in there, we're going to do the same thing here, and this works perfectly for this kind of setup. And as long as you can get away with it and it saves you time, do it. So get the same color as your background and then paint over the parts that you would need to highlight. So like I showed you before, your charms, the cleaner they are, the better that they will appear when you paint over them, because there will be no overhang and there will be no frills on the side. Now you're just going to paint on the chain part, and you're going to leave the middle part blank and untouched. So this way you are creating the illusion again that you have individual links, but you actually have the whole thing as gum paste. So just make sure that you try to paint not just the top but also on the sides, and that's going to make a huge difference when you're looking at the whole thing later. Alright, so what I plan to do here is do a gold charm bracelet, and we'll just alternate that with silver for the chunky bracelet with a charm. And I'm also going to do another gold on the other side just to balance out the color for this. Complete our trinket box. Alright, if you think that there's a part that's not as dark, go back and just paint over it when it's dry. Don't go and paint over one surface over and over, because it's just not gonna work. Just wait until it's dried up a bit and then add another layer. Now let's go and look at this chain, which is the narrowest one for the mold. If you can see that. Well, I'm going to show you pictures in my listing on Etsy. But this is really, really nice to look at because the chain part is really good. The detail is captured perfectly in the mold. And again, you're just going to paint on the chain parts. It's going to take time, as you can see, but I cannot imagine myself making these individual links and not breaking them, because I have extremely shaky hands. I mean, painting over them is already a challenge, believe it or not. Alright, so when I paint, sometimes I just start with one side, and then when we're done with that side, we flip it and then do this side. So okay, let's look at this a little bit closer, because now you're going to see that when we color just the sides, you can zoom in. Okay, it looks like the chain is actually there. It really looks like a chain. So the more detail you paint on it, the better it looks. Whoa. Our practice cake is moving. Alright, so I'm going to finish the gold part and show you a little bit of the silver, and then we're going to attach the small heart charm over here, and then we're going to paint on all of them, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is going to be funny because I just discovered that my camera has a light. Alright, before I finish up on this, I just wanted to let you guys know that the charm molds themselves are going to have like small circles like this. Where is that? Like that one. But when you put them on the bracelet, you don't want that to be seen, so you have to make like really small strips and make tiny bales like this, so that it's going to look like it is part of that charm bracelet. Now, as you finish, you have to kind of twist your project around and see if you have missed any part of your bracelet. And don't worry, because usually you're gonna miss out like one angle, and then you just got to go back and just refine it or make a shade a little deeper. See, when we turn it, and then I can see that there are some parts here that I've missed, so no worries. But that's the reason why we're turning it around, and we're seeing some parts that need some adjustments. Alright, I'm almost done with the gold here, and like I said, just only paint on the metal part and leave the middle part free and clear. Alright, I'm gonna finish on doing some retouches, and then I'm gonna do the gold and the silver. Be back quick. Okay guys, so now I'm doing the silver part for a project, and here I used silver airbrush color and a lot of silver luster dust and a hint of highlighter dust. Now silver is a lot trickier than gold. It's more streaky, and I noticed that if we do a second coat and it's not the right time to do so, it just becomes a lot more streaky, and the mess is just horrible. So what I would suggest you do is wait until your first coat is done, and then you can come back and do another coat for your silver. Now since we're using a mold that already has, we're using this mold and it already has the space here, if you want to use a different color like red or black, you could just directly use it, and you don't have to think about creating illusions or anything like that, because the center is already ready for you. So when you paint on this, just make sure that you get all the insides and the sides, because that's what's going to make it pop. It's crucial here because I started with all white and it's against a white background, and to make it pop, you gotta make sure that you get all the sides and the insides of your link. Again, when I used the molds here, we just used it for maybe a minute or two, and we were able to create, you know, a link or several links, you know, with just a mold. And it's very difficult for me personally to hand cut all of these and shape them and come up with, you know, even spaces. All right, right now it still looks streaky to me, so I'm gonna go back later and redo that, but I'm going to do some finishing touches on this. So I'm gonna make the middle kind of a pinkish tone, and I'm also going to attach the heart charm on this side and make it the same color, kind of pinkish. All right, almost done. Okay guys, so we are done with our little Trinket Box project cake. And just before I go, I wanted to just add just a little tip for the streakiness sometimes that we have. If we wait, can you see that? If you want a less streaky silver and you have time to wait, what I would suggest is add a couple drops of vodka to your mix, your airbrush and dust mix, and instead of brushing it on, dab it on. So you're going to see that the silver part is going to pool on top of your surface, and the vodka or the alcohol content of, you know, of vodka, gin, or the extracts are going to evaporate and leave the silver there. So it's much better, especially for the final ones, your final painting, to just dab it on and leave it. But you gotta wait for it to really dry. But that makes it a lot neater and gives it a smoother finish. Alright, so I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this kind of a very long tutorial, and I apologize for that. I have not figured out how to do the fast forward thingy while I'm doing it, so I didn't want to bore you with an hour of painting. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope those who have purchased molds from me before are finding new ways to use them. And for those who want to purchase these, I'm selling them as sets, like a set for the chains, so you don't have to buy the whole thing, and you just need, if you just need the chains, you can get them. The charms, you can get them too. My store is www.etsy, that's etsy.com/shop/WaveyonCakes. So Thank you again, guys, and thank you for all your support for my store and the Facebook page. I'll see you soon. Bye.